Don't tell me they were called on me. Yep. Yep, they were called. So he got in and then got out and then got back in. What? Were you called on me or something?
Is that your car over there?
What's? Yeah.
Okay, no, somebody's called about it. I remember that.
What was the complaint?
I really don't know.
That I was illegally parked or something?
No, you're not illegally parked.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Well, I mean, they don't just call dispatch and say, hey, there's a car parked, and then give a description, and then that's it. I mean, you're responding to some kind of complaint, right?
The complaint is they thought it was somebody homeless sleeping in the car. You're obviously not homeless sleeping in the car.
That's not. Oh, well, I mean, if I wanted to sleep, I could, right?
During the day, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
There are some cities that have made it illegal. You ever hear?
No, during the day you could. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I mean, but there's some cities that have made it illegal, right? You ever hear of that?
Yeah, some
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, that's incredible.
No, it's not during the day.
That's just incredible how cities can do that, make those decisions. I mean, that you can't sleep you'll get a ticket. You get a $700 ticket for sleeping during the daytime in Seaside, Oregon.
Yeah. No, I would never give you a ticket for sleeping in the car.
Well, because you follow what the city ordinances are, so they didn't write that for whatever.
No, it's not. It's not illegal at all.
Do you have a homeless problem here?
Not really.
But you've seen them.
It's a little overblown.
Okay.
Like what people have said. But
Yeah.
there is.
There's a sensitivity level, and there's this high sensitivity level to. It was the last city, and there's people begging for gas. I think that was
where are you at?
South of here.
South. Rolla, Bell.
I think it was Rolla.
Was it a bigger city?
It was Rolla, I think.
Rolla's off 44.
And yeah, I don't know. I think I saw some. It was in the Walmart parking lot, south side. Yeah, there's some people begging for gas. How is panhandling? Is there
not too bad, not too much here. There's a couple people that do it here.
Oh.
But they say that they're broke down. But they've been here way too much. They come through the area.
Okay.
Now you go towards Columbia. You know where Columbia is?
Is north of here?
Yeah, north. Like if you go west and then north,
Columbia
has a lot of people.
Okay, it's a lot of homeless or beggars and
people
poor
out
people.
there. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Because I know that there's an affiliation with Route 66.
That runs down Sullivan.
It's in this city?
No. Not on Route 66.
The mural city. What's the mural city? Cuba. That's where I saw the beggars.
That's where Route 66 is.
Yeah. It's like I've been in different cities along Route 66, and there's criminal issues with that road. There's like
Route 66.
I actually got that car broken into in Albuquerque, New Mexico, near Route 66.
Really?
I stepped away too far for too long during the daytime.
What are you doing? Driving across country?
Well, I mean, I'm up and down. I mean,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't mean to cross. I mean,
I've been traveling for years and years.
Really?
So this is just another stop for me.
Another stop on the way.
It's a nice area.
Yeah, it's not bad out here. It's pretty nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I saw it on the Google Maps, and then I
Figured you'd stop and check it out.
yeah, I stopped here and I have expected it to be pretty laid back, and I mean, well, mostly, but yeah, there are cop collars still.
The way it happens, that's all I was told. When I told you that a homeless person sleeping in a car, which again is not.
Well,
against the law,
I'm living in my car.
It's not against the law during, when you park somewhere during the day. Now, the park here closes at 10.
10, yeah.
So that technically that would be against the law. Anybody in the park after 10 o'clock. Now,
I got a curfew.
They do have campsites down there.
Yeah, I saw
that. You got to pay
for
that. So that is what the ordinance. That's what the ordinance actually is. But no, during the day.
Yeah.
I just stopped because
of the call, yeah.
They called.
Homeless.
But again,
homeless.
you're not committing.
Yeah, the part of the reason.
Any crime whatsoever. I'm just talking now.
Part of the reason I chose this spot is for the shade. I did plan to stay the day, and I was expecting the sun. I think the sun goes down that way, and the shade comes this way.
Right, yeah.
So I expect that evening shade, that sun. It's the hottest when it's in the evening time, and so I want to avoid that, and that's why I chose that spot.
You came today. Here's the deal. You came today. The pool just opened.
Today's the day number one?
Day number one. Now, if you came yesterday and the pool hadn't been open, you'd probably never see me nowhere to the car.
Okay, more eyes.
That's what I mean.
And you're the daytime, you're like, this is your political shift. The daytime is a political shift where more people see you out. So you want to have a
more people see me out, yeah.
Yeah, and you want to make the best. You're supposed to make the best impression with people during the daytime, because it's more your political shift.
That is true.
And at night, you put the maybe a little rougher cops on the night shift.
Well, I've been doing this now. How long? This is my 20th year.
20th year.
20th year.
You're probably almost as old as me then.
How old are you?
I'm 46. So.
40.
Oh wow. Okay.
6
Yeah, I guess I'm that old. You're 20 years. Wow.
Well, yeah, 20 years. So like, I work during the day now, and I stop talking to people all the time. So just talk. And that's why I told you when I was walking up. No, you're not committing any crime, because you could have told me, "Hey, buddy, I don't want to talk to you." You know what I would have done? Okay, I don't want to talk. I'm just talking now.
I know that. Yeah, I don't answer questions, or I'm just a traveler. You get.
Yeah, I've got some of those.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually know one of them. One guy, he actually I get along with Gray. He comes.
Yeah.
Some people don't. I do. He comes around and does the filming and all that stuff, like you see on
filming.
Like
a First Amendment audits?
First Amendment
Are you
audits.
familiar?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've watched a lot of them. And he does that. He comes right here. Now, I get along with him just fine. If he pulled up here right now and he goes, "Scott, is that you?" I'd be like, "Yeah, it's me."
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't. I'm a big believer in the First Amendment.
Okay.
So.
Well, this is Missouri, and there seems to be a tendency towards that. Mm-hmm. But I did get arrested in Bethany, Missouri. You guys, I guess you guys have you're allowed a 24-hour hold. So I was placed in jail for 24-hour investigative hold, and then they need to establish probable cause
after 24. Yeah.
After, or
during 24, you have to establish probable cause.
Yeah.
And then the judge has to issue a warrant at that 24 hours.
Yeah.
Used to be 20 hours.
20. Oh yeah.
Up until about 6 years ago, and they changed it to 24.
They give the cops more time. That's a
push. To 24.
Pushing the door down a little bit.
Yeah, it was about 6 years ago. So it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Or 20 hours forever. Then it went to 24 about 6 years ago, and you have to establish probable cause in that 24-hour period. And then the judge then has to issue a probable warrant.
The prosecutor, they make their arguments and then submit it to the judge. Yeah. And then the judge has to sign it.
Yeah, within at 24 hours.
Well,
it has to be signed.
I stayed the full 24 in Bethany, and then they did go through a kind of a charge. I went through arraignments and pled not guilty, and then in 1.5 days it was dropped.
What were you arrested for?
I went to the city hall and was asking about parking.
Oh, questions?
Yeah, and because it's a weird city, the parking situation is where the signs looked old and were in odd spots, and I don't know. It's just the cops showed up. They were called, and one wouldn't let me leave the building, and I said I have Fourth Amendment rights, and he said, you have the right to ID yourself. And he kept.
You don't have to ID yourself. That's why I asked you for ID.
Yeah, I have the right to ID.
I
have the right not to ID myself.
Right, you don't have to show. You're not committing any crime.
But I got arrested over my ID because of the call. So, and I got familiar with the jail there. And I've had several run-ins with cops. People calling me. Sometimes cops will just show up and talk. These calls. One weird one. Do you know West Plains?
Been to West Plains one time.
Okay.
Look at a car. Did not buy it. It was junky. I left. That's the only time I've ever been there.
Okay.
But I've been there one time. I know where it's at.
Checked out a car. All right. They might have. All right. Somebody was selling a car there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went down there one time.
Yeah. I got somebody calling the cops on me about I was staring at somebody in the park, and they called the cops, and the cops responded to that call. And that is, I guess, similar to this. Somebody sleeping in their car, somebody staring at somebody else.
Staring's not a crime.
All of this, it's just.
And like I said, here, you can park there until that 10 o'clock thing.
Yeah, there's a curfew. And you got that posted, I'm sure, somewhere.
Yeah, it's posted.
Because I think I remember seeing that.
The entrance up there and the entrance down there, and then it's posted around different places.
Okay, yeah, this is a nice the Lions Park. This is a nice park.
Yeah.
I like it.
And it's 10 o'clock. It used to be 11 in certain times of the year than 10, but I think they changed it all to 10 now. If you get down there and see the sign, and it still says 10 and 11.
Oh, yeah.
They changed it to 10, but that 10 and 11, it's posted 10 and 11, it's 11. You know what I mean? So, by the posting. So
the worst I've seen for parks is, I don't like, is rise to sunset, or sunset to sunrise. It closes at sunset and opens at sunrise. I mean, summertime, it's going to be different than the winter time. It bothers me that.
How do you know what time that is?
You don't know that.
What does people because when they say sunset, you actually look at the times and it says sunset at a certain time. Let's say 6:31 at night. Well, to me, sometimes at 6:31 at night, it still looks light.
Yeah, so you gotta watch the sun get down below the horizon, and then
you gotta pay attention.
And that's what the cops are doing. They're waiting for that sun, then they go, then they move.
No, like I said, I just came up here because somebody called. That's why I drove over to your car first.
Yeah,
then I saw all your stuff up here, and I was like, I bet that's his car. That's why I drove around.
I'm taking advantage of the electricity.
That's why I saw you.
And the bathrooms are open.
Yeah, they're bathrooms right there.
So, I mean, this is. I would usually a lot of times I'd go to the library, and I did visit your library, but this is close enough. I got a hot spot. So I mean, this is, and the weather's nice. It's nice, pretty much room temperature. I know it's going to warm up in the next few days, but
it's supposed to be. Actually, supposed to get to like 85 today or something. Still feels nice though, and it hasn't got that high yet. So.
Yeah. But, and I was a little hesitant to coming in here because I saw the signs on that entrance, and they deterred me a little bit. But then I look over here and I see that it's like something about no dumping in the city trash. No throwing away in the city trash dumpster.
It must be the dumpster over there. This is only thing with the pavilions are if they get rented. So like if a party shows up, well then they rented it, But like if you rented it, it's somebody, you do the same difference.
Yeah. I look for the signs. I'll post signs saying that this company or this organization is renting it for the day. But this looks like fairgrounds.
It is.
But
it's a fairgrounds.
And they are more restricted than the park, but all the doors are open. And
this actually is the fairgrounds for when the fair comes. That's like the livestock barns. This is the food. And food vendors, beer garden.
Oh yeah, all the nice stuff, the livestock. Yeah, and there's sometimes there's an owner for the fairgrounds. Like you may have gotten called by the owner.
Yeah, the fairgrounds, the city owns all the ground out here.
The city,
But all the buildings are owned by the fair board.
Yeah. And then you might have had somebody from them.
No, they didn't tell me who called.
Okay.
They just said, and I don't ask all those questions anymore. I just go down and I figure, here's why.
Okay.
Because I go down.
Yeah.
And then what they tell me. And then I go down, like I said, I pull up to your car, and I was like, I bet that's him over there. Then I just stopped and I figured, if he wants to have a conversation with me, fine. If he tells me, hey, I'm just hanging out here, I don't want to talk. I just got back in the car and drove away because you're not doing, you're just sitting there. But see, I look at things like that. I don't.
But you
asked, and I figured, he wants to know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind talking, exchanging information, because I'm new here, and I'm learning the area. I like to learn about the area and yeah, understand it better. And since I get visited by cops so much, you're an ambassador for the city. You've been here so long.
Well, I've been here at Owensville. I've been here now. This is my 18th year.
Yeah, since you were within the 2000s still.
Yeah,
right?
I started here in 2003.
Yeah, so that's.
So I guess this is 19 years. I'm long on my years.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you could round.
I was rounding down, not up.
Yeah, right after the World Trade Center bombings, and I don't know how the height. You saw pretty much as soon as you joined, you saw the heightened the money coming in for the police agencies because of the Patriot Act. I mean, you were after that. You didn't.
Yeah, I was after. Yeah, I was in the Marine Corps during 9/11.
Okay.
And then when I became an officer, I never really saw much difference. See, we never took that. We never had, here in Owensville, or where I worked before Owensville, we never had military type vehicles and all that stuff.
And now you do?
No, we don't have.
Oh, you still? Oh, because I've recorded this one. It might have been Rolla. They have a Humvee with the M60 turret on the top, parked in their parking lot at the police station.
Oh, really?
What does the police station need that?
No, they offered that stuff back in the 2000s. They offered all that.
Yeah.
If you take the Humvees and this stuff, you get whatever. We denied it all, so we didn't take anything.
All right.
We've never taken anything.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, some have. Yeah.
Because now the ambulance here, I think it was the ambulance. They did get one of the Humvees. Now it doesn't have the turret, but you got but they go out on these. When it snows and we've got a ton of snow, and they have to go out on these gravel roads and never get cleared off. They can actually get to somebody.
Yeah.
Now that actually made a little sense to me, but it doesn't look like a military one. It looks just like an H1 Hummer if you bought one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
you need that.
But we didn't. Yeah, we didn't. We haven't taken anything. We've had the same chief here since I've started. He's been here since '96.
Oh man.
Became the chief in 2001, and we've denied everything.
Oh, he's the ultimate.
We just don't take it.
Yeah, you've working with the same chief, the same personality, and you get along because you're still here.
I'm the lieutenant here. So,
and you're up there. Yeah, he would be the one to help promote you too.
Yeah.
So.
All the way through. And we didn't take any of that.
Well,
stuff.
that really keeps along with the theme of the Good Old Boys Network. You guys have pretty much. Kept close together with that.
Yeah, the whole time, but I like to think that we. As times change.
Is that a little strong? A little too strong of a definition, you would say?
The Good Old Boys Network. Because I would think, with the times changing, like I follow the personal beliefs, in the Constitution stuff.
Yep.
Big. So. Even all these years, I can't, I personally, couldn't enforce any law of violence. You know what I mean? And, or that, it's like those, I can watch those First Amendment audits that they do. Yeah. And I've watched a whole bunch of them. And sometimes I just can't believe the over authority, what I'm saying, the over authority of, well, like you said, IDing somebody when there's no crime.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not pulling my driver's license out. Why are you pulling your driver's license out? You know what I mean? We don't have to. So, like I said, I work during the day now. I go around and talk to people all day. It's kind of, I'm in depth in the community. You know what I mean? So, and I saw your stuff here. I was like, well, I bet he's down here videoing. Doing a little bit of stuff, taking it. I saw your plates were from Washington. That's why I met. That
might have gotten the complainer's attention. Out of state plates. I get into Idaho just a couple of miles, and the cop stops and says, "Hey, you're from out of state." I'm just across the border.
You're just from another state. I just saw. When I saw your plates and I saw all your computer stuff here, I was like, "Well, I bet he's driving through, taking a little bit of the." What different communities look like. That's what I assumed.
Yeah,
it turns out that's what you're doing.
And I'm going straight north, I'm avoiding St. Louis and sticking with small towns.
I avoid that area too because I'm just not a big town guy, and I don't like driving through.
You never done any like cross training in bigger city?
We have to go down there to train sometimes.
Yeah. Doing that. They're in. There's the death investigation unit. You know where that is? You know what I'm talking about?
Major Case Squad.
It's a death investigation training, and that's
down in St. Louis. Yeah.
That's in nope. What I saw was in Cuba. They have an office for death investigation.
Oh, in Cuba?
Yeah, and just in the mural city of Cuba, downtown. It's not that big, I guess. Okay.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not. It's about the same size as here.
Yeah. Oh, the city is Cuba, about the same. Yeah. But this death investigation. If you look in Cuba downtown, they got a business of that, and they got a website and they train cops.
I did because all of our death investigations went through St. Louis up there. Going to St. Louis, or going to
maybe it's some weird division in some way. But yeah, they had pictures of bones and people rifling through them.
I really didn't know that.
Look on Google Maps and you'll see it, and then you'll get the websites. And
I know a couple people that work that way. I'll have to ask them, what's that going on in
Cuba? In Cuba, the mural city. You walk around, you see those big murals.
Murals everywhere.
Kind of nice. Mm-hmm. And they also have the death investigation training office of some kind. So it's something surprising. That's why I like traveling, because I'm like I didn't expect to see things on the ground as they are. In fact, over there used to be a tennis court, and I see that on Google Maps. I walk over there. You recently seem to have gotten rid of it.
Recently they're getting rid of that because it was so torn up over there that it really couldn't be used anymore. And I'm not for sure. They had two options on putting something over there. One was they're going to put basketball courts back over there, I think. Yeah. And the other option was that they've done a lot of fundraising for a skate park.
Skate
park, which I'm a proponent of the skate parks. I think I'd give some kids. Some kids don't want to play baseball and basketball. They just didn't go to skate park.
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of it. So of putting a skate park in. But that was one option. They're going to put a skate park over there.
Yeah, they can. I've seen a lot of skate parks because I stop at a lot of parks, and there's some cheap ones that I don't even think should pass as skate parks.
Well, this one was a pretty decent one. It was a two-phase thing. And it was comparable. Like if you travel, you're traveling north. You're going north.
Yeah.
Washington's more east. Washington over there has a skate park.
Washington, Missouri.
Yeah, Washington, Missouri has a skate park, and it's pretty nice. I've heard it's nice. Never seen it.
All right. Yeah, I don't skate. I don't know if you do.
I don't either.
But I can recognize a skate park that looks like if I was to do the skating, I would enjoy. I think I would enjoy this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this. Well, whatever. There's options. There's things changing that you see one thing on Google Maps, and on the ground you'll see something else.
Different.
Yeah, like I'll see open plots of land, and then it'll have a dot that says that there's a Walmart here. It just takes a few years for taking the pictures to catch up with what's going on.
Yeah, when I first started here, Walmart down there that you passed by down there wasn't there.
Really?
We had it up where Orscheln's is at on the other side of town. That was a small Walmart, the old style Walmart like Cuba still has. And then the city actually ended where Walmart's at. It ended like at this park, and when you went down there, it was just a four-way crossing, like an old four-way crossing, and that's all it was before they put all that stuff in down there.
Okay, yeah, 20-some.
None of that stuff was down there.
You've been here most of your life, half your life at least. There's some guys that spent half their lives in jail too, but you've seen changes. Yeah, that's like.
Well, like our fair. When our fair comes, our fair is actually a couple years ago, and it may even been last year. I don't know. I just know a couple years ago. They call them little fairs, so take out like the state fair and stuff, Oh, but we were like it was the fourth or fifth largest fair in Missouri.
All right.
That section of fair. We'll have 5,000-10,000 people down here every night for the fair.
Yeah.
We have big country acts and stuff that come in.
Oh, that's the attraction. Okay. Yeah, and you got good donators too. I don't see that at many places where they'll list all the big donations and stuff. It's all about the volunteer groups and their motivations. What do they feel is important in the community? And these guys, they've built up a nice area here. I enjoy it. It's interesting. I don't see a lot of these bars I don't know if you get a lot of wind problems, but
yeah, that's what they put them on because we do get a lot of in this area.
not all shelters have this
a lot of wind that would catch this, if they didn't have it secured good.
Yeah, they've put a little extra money into this area, and you guys provide good security to it. I'm sure.
Yeah,
you protect. And the crime is not. I mean, you see some homeless people. How's the drug? Would you say there's a meth problem? Or?
Yeah, there was a meth problem, for years here. Then it switched over to more of a heroin problem.
Okay.
But again, it's not like huge.
Okay.
But there is an issue.
Yeah.
But it's not
like you're not as impacted as other cities are. There's
it's not
needles laying around and guys strung out like. Yeah, I walked on the sidewalks of San Francisco, and you'll see guys just passed out on the sidewalk, peeing themselves.
Really? Well, you see that on the news, or on TV that people say that's going on. I've never seen it.
Yeah, you should do it. You should get out.
It's actually.
Don't take your cop car out on a joyride to these places.
Yeah.
Like some cops have apparently. Yeah. It's hard to explain, but if you get out, you'll see. Like I've recorded. There's tents on the side. My own eyes. I've tents on the sidewalks and.
Really?
So
I think somebody's actually seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. You wouldn't find it here so much because on the coast the weather is so much more stable. Mm-hmm. People could do that year round and be fine.
Like here, once you hit October, November, I mean, you're talking, temperatures all of a sudden plunging. I mean, it'll be in the 30s and 20s.
Yeah, it gets too cold and it can kill the homeless.
Yeah,
homeless people die because of that. Have you ever walked on the lake?
The lake?
Yeah. You ever just walk on the lake? You ever freeze? Does it freeze? Do your lakes in the wintertime, do your lakes freeze enough where you can walk on the lake?
I don't think they get that cold. I know certain times they have, but that's like a
kind
rarity.
Of a short,
a rarity in a short
Okay, because I'm from the north.
We don't get that.
And people will like put their ice fishing shacks on the lake and
a couple of friends of mine from years ago, they live in Minnesota. So when we talk about down here, we're like it's in the 20s today. They'll send me a message. Well, we just hit -5.
Yeah. It's rough. I attempted to sleep out in -17 degree weather, and I think I barely survived.
Yeah, probably.
It was tough. It was a few years ago, 9 years ago.
Do you sleep in the car?
Yeah, I'll sleep in my car. I don't have a tent.
You sleep in the car.
I see a lot of homeless people leave tents behind. They're kind of a hassle, and I found them to be, but. Yeah, it's possible to sleep in -17 degree weather. Homeless people in a way, not all. A lot of them are just strung out druggies, but some like the challenge of just being a part of the environment in the open air.
It's no different than going to Alaska and living and being out in the woods, except you're more in a environment where there's more people around.
Yeah, and there's a coast in Alaska too, and the weather will stay stable.
Mm-hmm.
It might get a little rainy, but I mean you'll have a nice stable temperature at least. All along the Pacific coast is a nice stable temperature from Canada to the U.S. I mean even South America, but I think their coast might be a little harder to reach. But you get further inland and you get more swings and temperatures and.
We get a lot. Summertime it'll be 100.
Oh yeah.
Wintertime we get we're all the way down into 0 degrees. It's one to the other.
That's why I'm heading north. It's for the summer. Now that I'm exploring more of the inner part of the country.
And going north while it's summertime.
And I wanna avoid the heat because I came from like the Louisiana area. I had legal problems there, and I'm appealing a similar ID issue. I'm appealing it because do you have a city judge? Do you have a city court here?
We do have a city court, and we did have an actual city judge, but now all of our court goes through the circuit court.
Okay, great.
Court. We don't have a city court. As of about 5 years ago, they got rid of the actual city court. We still have a city prosecuting attorney, but we go in front of the circuit judge.
Yeah, the prosecutor could do any courts.
Yeah, we're at the circuit level.
Yeah, and I had to go through the city court and usually this is like the 5th time I've been arrested over the ID thing, and this time I actually had to go through city court. Most other states, I can skip over the city court and go to the more district court, which they're more fair. They don't have limited jurisdiction like a city court, like a city judge. So of course the city judge found me guilty. So I'm in the process of appealing that.
To the circuit court?
I guess you can't, you have to go to an appeals court.
Yeah.
And it's a low standard, it's a writ instead of an actual appeal. Yeah. But the writ's a lower standard for an appeal.
In Missouri, we still have municipal judges.
Yeah.
There's not very many left.
Well,
now it's mainly goes to the circuit court level, and then that goes from there to the appellate to the Supreme Court.
See, I should have had a jury, and I should have been awarded a free lawyer too. And they deny that in Louisiana. No jury, and it's like it has to be mandatory at least a day or something for jail time that you face. If you face 0 to 6, since there's a 0, you don't get a jury, you don't get a free lawyer. And I believe in Missouri, you probably are allowed.
I don't know if Missouri's the same or not. I never asked that question.
Yeah, well, there's standards in this.
I know there's standards. I just don't know what Missouri's are.
Yeah, it's a judicial. Yeah, it's above. Yeah. It's a little bit above you. Like,
yeah, I don't have to. I don't ever.
Yeah.
But that's a good question. I'm curious because you mentioned it. This is a question I don't know. Usually I can answer most questions.
Oh yeah.
And that's one that I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about Louisiana law too. I mean.
No, I was thinking Missouri law. You know what?
And
Missouri does.
in comparison, like in your resisting arrest statutes, there's no failure to ID. I didn't see that in Missouri's, but there is in Louisiana. If you failing to reveal yourself and ID, telling your name or whatever. So there's 2 aspects of that failure to ID. Like if you're wearing a mask, you have to like reveal yourself, and then you have to tell your name, and that's a part of the resisting arrest. And I was just asked for my ID. Like they got a call, I matched the description, but they had no crime. It was just me walking around a library, and there was the allegations, checking doors, looking angry, having big backpacks.
None of which is a crime.
Those are suspicions. That's it.
Suspicion is not a crime. I say that all the time.
Yeah, and suspicion. What is a crime in city court? Because I got convicted.
Well, suspicion. Only thing that does is in Missouri, the only thing that does is, like for me to ask you for an ID, I have to have a reasonable suspicion that you committed a crime, or that a crime's gonna be committed, or because let's say you were outside of a building, yanking, trying to pull a door open, you hadn't broke it yet or got in it yet, but it could be committed. A crime can be committed, and that's where the ID thing comes in, but. To ask you for an ID, like in this situation, just because you're sitting at a park.
Yeah, if you got a call.
You're not doing anything. You're not committing a crime.
I matched the description. Yeah, the standards are lower in Louisiana for both arrests and convictions.
Well, I figured you saw me pull up to your car and then come around. So that's why I stopped, because if I didn't, I looked and I was like, oh, it looks like he's out.
Yeah.
Doing some video stuff. Well, I could have just kept going, but I figured you'd be like, why is he driving around my car? So I figured I'd stop and tell you why.
I saw you made a direct beeline towards my car. So
I said car, and I assumed these were the pool cars for the employees, and I saw your car, and I'm like, I was going to go to that black car first, and I was like, wait a minute, there's another car down there. That's probably the pool, and I went down there, and I'm like, oh, there's somebody over there. I bet that's his car.
And I'm a little maybe I'm a little close to the public, the Parks Department's office.
Yeah, but it's not open right now.
No, and I tried to get away from it a little bit, but I wanted to be under that tree, and for the shade. But yeah, the city judge, he's like, he asked, who records in a library? Who asked the cops for their name? That was a part of his conviction. When he was given his statements before he convicted me, he asked those questions. And that's a part of his decision process and why I should have been convicted. And then I got convicted, and then the sentencing was immediate. And I should have gotten I'm allowed 3 days to prepare for the sentencing. I didn't even lock my car doors. I was immediately we immediately went to sentencing, And then he was using, like, I have kind of a YouTube following, and he was using that against me, and he gave me 30. I got 30 days sentenced to 30 days in jail, 0 to 6 months. I got 30 days because he was saying that, like, the outcry was getting worse over time, because I was continuing to make videos talking about my case. So I was trying to educate, and I was complaining too, but nothing that resulted on the level of threatening.
Yeah, if you're not threatening, you have a First Amendment right to say what
I wasn't calling to action, but he used the argument that he was asking me to tell my followers to stop calling, to stop contacting all the offices in the city, from the library to the city hall to the city courts. Just, he asked me to tell these followers to stop contacting them, and I asked him, what message would you like me to tell the followers? And he said, well, you just think of it on your own. And then he went, and so we went a couple of minutes talking about something else. This is all in court during a hearing on the record. And then later he asked the same question again. Will you tell your followers to stop contacting us? And I said, I take a neutral stance. And then he remembered that. He's like, okay, you're not going to tell them to stop. I said, I'm not encouraging the followers to make contact. And then his argument is that I'm also not telling these followers to stop. And he used that against me later for my sentencing. That's part of the reason I got 30 days over my ID.
That was down in Louisiana?
Yeah,
Wow.
It was in Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Wow.
It doesn't sound like how it's spelled.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was in a 40-man cell, and I was the only white guy in that cell for a few days.
That's a lot of time over just like an ID issue.
Yeah, it's the power of the city judge. They have limited jurisdiction. They're not allowed to make decisions. They're not allowed to have juries. They're not allowed to, and they have this limited jurisdiction. It's hard to describe exactly. I don't fully understand, but
well, I know we had, when our city judge was there, I remember there was requirements on juries and different. Oh, yeah. Now I remember. So your first trial was with the city judge, and that's how it worked. Now, if you wanted to appeal that, you appealed that to the circuit court, which we're in now, the circuit court. Yeah. Without the city judge, but you appealed that to the circuit court and request another trial, then by the jury, or before you went to trial with the city judge, I believe you could appeal or request to go to the circuit court. And jump it automatically and stay there. And if I remember right, our city judge would always allow that. Like he wasn't, there was no, because it was pretty clear on the law. If I remember right when we had it, but that was 5 or 6 years ago.
That's Louisiana. Specifically the Code of Criminal Procedure says that you cannot jump out of city courts into the district, I believe we could. Parish court. Yeah, and I was able to in North Dakota, and it was all automatic in Idaho and Colorado. I've had these similar situations. Yeah. And so I know my background from similar.
Let's go. Yeah.
If Louisiana was my first ever arrest over ID, I would think that
everything was like
there was nothing. Yeah, that you had no rights. It's just to submit, like it's such a. It was, in my impression of it, is a cultural enforcement more than law enforcement. How they do things.
Because we're just here to make sure. Well, as long as people leave each,
Yeah, you get different.
We're just here to protect people from, a crime against them. You know what I'm saying? So you talk about, property damage. Somebody going to somebody's house or somebody's car, like your car there, and somebody walking by and just beating it up. Well, there's a crime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But other than that, we're not. Like I stop and talk to a lot of people just because I'm part of the community and I stop by and talk to people all the time.
Yeah.
But it's not an interaction of I'm not there to babysit somebody or do that. People have their own individual rights and individual can self-govern himself, which is in the original.
You respect it. If somebody looked funny, like maybe if they dressed in a weird way for their religion or whatever, it's there's nothing to investigate.
They may think that I look funny.
It's a culture. Yeah, it's a cultural. Yeah, your uniform's a little different.
Yeah, so I mean, it's
it looks like, it makes me think if those pants were shorts, I think you're on the bicycle patrol. So
yeah. I don't know if I can ride a bike that much anymore.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Well, you're not that old.
But it's just like you said, just because somebody.
Yeah.
People, it's like if people would just leave other people alone more.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have these much problems.
And this is more of a contentious state. It was like half the people, and during the Civil War, half the people were fighting the other half.
Missouri was a divided state.
Yeah, it was a divided state.
Missouri's still not a divided state like Civil War issue stuff, but Missouri is still a divided state, somewhat with the cities compared to the rural area.
Okay.
The rural area still is firmly in the Constitution and the right to self-governance and all that stuff. The cities have gotten more. But see, I don't fit in any category though. I don't fit in the conservative category. I don't fit in the liberal category. Because I believe some liberal stuff. I believe some conservative stuff. I don't fit in any category. So I may just be a different
well, you might get along with Officer Gordon and Mountain Home, I think, or Mountain View. I get those.
Mountain View, Missouri.
Yeah, Mountain View. Yeah, I talked to Officer.
I think there's a Mountain Grove and Mountain View though.
Okay, Grove sounds familiar. Yeah. He sounds like he would be he would even arrest a cop if they were doing the wrong thing.
Well, cops shouldn't commit crimes either. I mean,
we're
all citizens. Only difference between me and anybody else is they hired me to do this job for 12 hours a day, 7 out of 14 days, and then that's the only difference. I mean, but if I'm out committing, crimes, or I shouldn't be committing crimes.
And you don't wear a body cam, so I don't at all. You've never.
We've had them.
As an oversight for your activities.
We've had them. We had issues with them operating properly.
Okay. Do you know the brand? Axon.
We had Axon.
You had problems with Axon.
Yeah. Well, I didn't manage them. I was just told we had.
Yeah. Maybe the first series. Because there's Axon 3 or 4 now.
We didn't have the newer ones.
Yeah.
So maybe the newer ones, operated. We had. There was another body cam, Vivu.
Okay, you got.
Hold on, just 1 second. 104.
I'm sending a 21 to your phone to Jenny Sutherland with the DFS office. She has a call she needs assistance on.
Temple. Yeah, we had originally there was a company called Vivu. That was before Axon.
Yeah. Oh, before. Okay.
And a lot of our patrol officers, our actual patrol officers, still they were cameras.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, not a patrol officer didn't come out. You're like at the level of detective, pretty much.
I'm the lieutenant, so I'm. In our department, you'd consider
you just happen to be
assistant chief style.
Yeah, you just happen to be closer to the call.
Yeah, well, I'm working. We're short staffed, so I'm working. I work a lot of weekends because we're short staffed.
I'm
working Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
This week, it's Memorial Weekend. I'm working this week.
Is it? Oh, all right.
I didn't know that either until earlier. Somebody told us Memorial Weekend. I'm just happy to be working the weekend. So.
I believe. Yeah, the library might be closed on Monday. I think something like
it's
that.
Memorial Weekend.
So yeah.
No, I can't. No, okay. But I don't have a problem with people. I mean, I've been on. Well, I was on a call one time, and there's a guy that he does videos. He does videos and videos, law enforcement actions, and I have no problem. He's offered me the videos numerous times because of the crime that was being committed by the other person. Hey, you want the video to take take with you to court? Now he doesn't offer that to many people, but he always offers it to me. I don't have a problem being video. I'm not saying anything that I wouldn't say again later on down the road, or
I'm hesitant about doing what those First Amendment auditors do when there's a scene getting a little too close, and then
well, sometimes that can get like, the one guy around here that does it once in a while. He's not from here, but he comes around and does it. Like if I was here talking to you and this was actually a scene or something, he would stand out there on the
just-
road
just-
and not get
yeah.
any closer, you know. But
Okay.
that's what he does. you
Keeps
know.
yeah, because I guess there's the 10 feet rule or something. I don't.
But there's different people that think different than I do. Like me,
Yeah.
if a guy was standing there video and this was I wouldn't have a problem. I just don't have a
You
problem.
personally,
with
yeah,
stuff.
you don't seem to carry a lot of gear because you don't even seem to have a vest. There's
Right.
there's guys because you'll know that the cops have a vest because at some point they'll be standing
Pulling it down.
pulling it down. You maybe
Yeah.
to breathe.
Yeah, 'cause it- yeah.
And they'll have just decked out. They'll be decked out with like
No, I don't find
knives
I don't find the need to have
and
all
you
that.
over the years you've just
Yeah.
you've been
Yeah, I've been fine. I don't find the need to have all that stuff.
Yeah.
I find that, and sometimes it doesn't work, but I find that, just talking with somebody and actually
Yeah.
just being a person-to-person talking.
Yeah,
And I
I
usually tell people when I walk up, like I told you when you said something about, can I sleep? I said, whoa, you're not committing a crime here.
Yeah.
Let's get that off the table from the start.
Okay.
So we don't think
Yeah.
somebody's getting, and that's why
Yeah.
I tell people when I go to calls,
It's-
I always tell them, hey, I went to talk to a juvenile the other day, and I said, when I got to the house, I said, hey, so I'm not pulling you out of this house and putting you in some type of system or whatever else. So let's get that off the table,
Yeah.
and then let's just talk and everything's
Yep.
fine.
Yep.
Because
those-
you got to get that out of the way,
those-
because I would think the same thing.
Those crucial few seconds when you first meet the person, especially at a domestic with kids involved.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta get
that's
that.
Going to somebody's house that you saw me from a distance, but when you have to go to somebody's house behind a door,
You don't know what's going on.
and you have some of your most stressful moments.
Mm-hmm.
Coming to a homeless guy, it's the level of stress might
Yeah,
not be as high as.
Yeah, it's a little
as-
different. It all depends. I mean, I try to go into everything the same way, because
Well-
like I said, I don't.
Depending on what maybe the dispatcher tells you, they got a gun,
It's a different story.
Yeah, then
Then
you
may
have.
have something going on.
Yeah. Have you ever heard that call and had to respond? Yeah. Okay. And
Yeah.
of course you did. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had
at some point.
different stuff, and it's just But I got to get back going.
Yeah.
But
Nice
it's
talking to
nice
you.
talking to you.
So-
If you need anything while you're at Owensville,
Oh, I'm aware.
feel free to
Okay.
get a hold of me.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep. Sounds good.
So,
All right.
and have a good rest of your day. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Enjoy this nice weather.
Yes, it is nice.
Be safe on your travels.
Yeah. Thank you. So. Stop it quick. Oh my God.